Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a gardening video. I thought I'll take the opportunity to make one now. I've been a little bit busy, but I thought I don't want to miss. Basically today is officially the last day of winter here in Sydney, Australia. And I thought I'll give you an update of late winter garden update, basically to show you what's happening, because a lot of things have started to wake up here in Sydney, Australia, and basically I'm a bit excited, to be honest. There's a new season upon us, and usually that makes me happy, amongst other things. So here, basically, this is actually not my citrus here, that's my neighbor's, but technically it is mine because that's my fence there, that brown fence, and anything that's hanging over is technically mine. I've eaten most of my citrus, and there's a few left on, I think, the Washington navel, but he doesn't seem to touch his much anyway. And yeah, well, this is my side. So you can see that he's got lemons, and I believe Eureka lemons and honey murcot mandarins, which are literally honey sweet. But yeah, that's the citrus from my neighbor. This here is my black Pakistani mulberry, the black Pakistani mulberry, which is produces very long, I believe up to 10 centimeters, extremely sweet fruit. You can see the buds are breaking out now. It's waking up out of its dormancy, and it'll start producing its leaves and fruits and berries very soon, inshallah, in the next coming weeks. I've got some new additions in the garden which I planted in winter. This here is my black velvet pomegranate, which I just planted probably a month ago or so. There's another one there. Yep, that one there. That's a I forgot, to be honest. Yeah, I'll get back to you, but it's another pomegranate basically that I planted. Okay, so this is my seedless Eureka. It was a champion during winter. This thing was absolutely loaded, mashallah, just dripping with fruit. So after we harvested all the fruit and juiced and lemonades and then made all sorts of things, I decided to prune it. I pruned it heavily. You can see there, I've done some butchering. The reason I've done that is because it was just growing in a very sort of ununiform manner. It had multiple branches coming off the base, and they were going every which way, crossing over each other and just causing issues, and was not sort of behaving itself. I like it to be in a standard type of tree. So I've left one of the main branches that's gone vertical, and yeah, and I'll print it. And you can see now it's starting to flower again. This thing flowers all year round. I highly recommend this Eureka seedless. Beautiful tart, traditional tasting lemons, no seeds, extremely high production. And yeah, just a really good lemon basically. It'll give it a month or so, a couple of months, it'll fill up soon. Okay, so this is my lemongrass a plant which I planted recently as well in winter. These are yeah, I'm not planting lemonade soft drinks. That's just the kids. You got to excuse. There might be a bit of a mess actually. I haven't cleaned up properly. Even the grass is in bad shape. I need to mow it, but it's been raining so heavily in Sydney for the last few weeks. This is actually the first weekend that we've seen some sunshine. It's been raining for the last couple of weeks non-stop, so I couldn't do anything in the yard in terms of sort of mowing the lawn and things like that. So I do need to tie it up. There's a lot of things I haven't tidied up. I need to do a proper sort of end of winter cleanup, which I haven't had time to do, but I'll get to it. So yeah, these are the my White Shatoot cuttings, which hopefully planning to strike and start new plants out of. These are more recent planted dragon fruits, 4 different varieties of different colors. Yeah, I've got the reds, the whites, the yellows, just a bit of everything. Ruby red grapefruit. This is my seedless Valencia. It's a juice and orange. That's one thing I was lacking, a juice and orange in my citrus collection. So I've decided to plant. I had one years ago, but it died on me. So decided to plant one recently, late last season. And you can see it's doing fine. It's got the new shoots, new growth. You can see the beautiful flowers coming up as well. Okay, so this is my White Shatoot Mulberry. Again, it's waking up at the moment. It's an Aspalia. I trained in Aspalia way. It's about 10 years old or so, and I've recently just pruned it. It was a lot sort of bushier than this before I pruned it. You know, I think the growth was up to 4 meters above what it is now, and I've just pruned it all the way back. I've hacked it down. That's the way I usually prune it year after year, and I get a lot of fruit, a lot of berries every single year. So I prune it down to the main branches, and I usually leave about 4 or 5 buds of each sub branch that's coming off the main branch. And from my experience for the last 10 years, every single bud produces a cluster of mulberries for me, White Shatoot mulberries. You can see here, this branch has you got 1, 2, 3, 4 buds, and each bud has produced a cluster of approximately 10 berries in each cluster. So I usually probably lose up to 50% by the time they ripen from, you know, wind and birds and so on. But, you know, even if you get 50% for to ripen, that's a lot of fruit. So you can imagine every single bud will have a cluster. You can see this one here, the cluster is forming now. So every single bud will have a cluster of mulberries on it. So that's, you can see it here. So that's in different stages. That's just waking up, this bud. This one is slightly progressed. This one here, you can see the mulberries emerging out of it. You can see it there. And that's the most advanced stage so far, which is at this point. You can see the tips of the tree always are more advanced than the sort of the tips of the branches are more advanced than the base of the branches, because I believe that's where the energy stops. That's the end of the line, and it just bursts in energy. They seem to be a lot more advanced than the base of the branch. But yeah, that's the way I usually prune it every single year. Never failed me. You know, I can't say it's the way that I prune it that produces for me every year. It could be just this particular strain of White Shatoot, because I know I've heard of a lot of people that aren't having luck with their White Shatoot mulberry. It's not producing for them. They reckon it could be maybe it's a male or just a bad sort of strain of White Shatoot and so on. I think Doug was saying something like that, and maybe even George from Melbourne, he was saying his one's not producing as much. You know, so but for me, it's never failed me year after year. So it could be the strain that they got is different than this one. This is a bit more productive, it would seem, and it can't be a chill hour issue because I'm in the middle. I'm literally between Doug and George, so I'm between Queensland and Melbourne. I'm smack bang in the middle, which is Sydney, and you know, our hours are less than chill hours. That is less than Melbourne, but more than Brisbane. So you know, we're like Goldilocks here. You know, it's right in the middle, just right. But yeah, I don't think it's a chill hours because you know, George would get, or Melbourne would get more chill hours than I would, and he's not having luck with his one. You know, and Doug up north, it would get less, and it didn't have much luck with his one. So I think I'm pretty sure it's a strain. I think it's fair to say it's the strain which they have. So so rest assured, Doug, if you're watching this, the one that I gave you would hopefully produce exactly like this, because I've never had 1 year without just being bombarded with mulberries from this tree. Anyway, moving on. So this is the Lebanese pomegranate, which I call number 2 because there's no actual official name for it. I know it has a Lebanese background because I got it from my community. And I'll just call it number 2 because I've got another one which is, I'll just call it number 1. So Lebanese number 1, this is the Lebanese number 2. You can see it's breaking dormancy now, they're waking up. It's got beautiful red tipped leaves at the moment. And this is the Ben-Hur, the Australian variety Ben-Hur. Again, breaking dormancy. I've planted another Lebanese pomegranate, which I took from it's a sucker which I pulled out from here, and I planted it here because I do want more of them. I like them. They're very low maintenance. You don't tend to lose much fruits to diseases and pests and birds and things like that because they tend to have a very thick. Let me take the jacket off 1 sec. It's getting a bit warm here today. 1 second, let me take my jacket off. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, they have a thick skin which protects them against any sort of attacking birds and insects and diseases, which I like. And they're nice and large, and they produce a good amount of fruits. This is the Wonderful. It's probably the most advanced out of my pomegranates in terms of you know, waking up. It's one of the first to wake up for whatever reason. And it's got the most growth out of the pomegranates, and you can even see there's a flower being formed right there. Yeah, I pruned my pomegranates heavily this year. You know, heavier than I usually prune them. I hacked them pretty violently compared to other years, because I've got a theory which I'm trying out this year. You know, a lot of people experience a lot of sort of flower droppings dropping from pomegranates, and I'm sort of experimenting to get a lot more fruit set, but I'll keep this updated. That's for another video anyway. Yeah, so this is now up to sort of the figs. This is my Col de Dame Noir, VDB, Violette de Bordeaux. Again, I've pruned them down. They haven't woken up yet. There's some signs here. You can see they've started. This one here has just, come on, zoom, focus. No, doesn't want to focus. Okay, 1 second. No, it's being stubborn. No, anyway, Trust me, this is just waking up now. But yeah, they've just started to sort of push growth on certain varieties. All right, let's do this here. So this is my loquat tree. Just started the ripening process right now. You can see they've just started to turn yellowish. Still a bit early to eat them. I reckon it still needs another good month for it to be properly ripened. This seems to be a late variety, a bit later than the Japanese and other variety of loquats, but it's pretty productive. And it does have extremely large fruits. The fruits on this are relatively large. They get even bigger than this. I used to have the, what is it, the Nagasawi, I believe, variety, which is the Japanese variety, and this is much larger, but it does have a thicker skin, this one, and a bit more tartness than the Japanese one. Japanese one much more sweeter, but smaller with a tender skin on the outside. This is much larger, a bit more sourness, a bit more tartness. So it's sort of got a mixture of sweet and sour, this thing, and a thicker skin. But they're both good varieties, you know, I enjoy them both. But I lost the other one, the Japanese, and this one remained, and it's doing just fine. Okay, so this here is my friend Toyo olive. And yeah, it's doing fine. This is evergreen, so it doesn't really drop its leaves, so they always look good, winter, summer, anytime. My Namroy pomelo, it just started sending out its flowers, as you can see there. That's, yeah, the whole thing's just loaded with flowers. I got some plants to. There's some small pomelo. They're not really edible. They're too small for pomelo standards. So I'll drop it on the floor and compost it. But yeah, I want to graft some other varieties on this thing. Yeah, some red varieties and so on. Okay, so this is my Osborne Prolific. My Osborne Prolific. A fig. I haven't pruned it heavily yet because I've got plans for this thing. I want to turn this into basically a Frankenstein type of fig, multi-grafted. Yeah, so I want to turn it into a Frankenstein type of fig with multiple different grafts of different varieties because you know, I love collecting figs, but you know, as you can see, I'm running out of space. I don't like to cramp my trees too much. I want to give them their space, and I want to be able to walk around and so on. That's just the way I like to do it. So now I've started to graft multiple different varieties of figs. I started with the Black Madeira, which I've done in autumn. Basically, what's that? About 5 months ago or so. I grafted my Black Madeira onto it, and it's taken just fine. You can see it was a successful graft. I'm just waiting for it to break dormancy. I think it's starting to wake up now. You can see, yeah, it's starting to wake up. There's my little baby Black Madeira. I've never had luck with it in the ground, so I've decided to graft it and start, you know, lead by example basically. So I've grafted it here and it's taken. So basically I want to start chopping all these I'm just waiting. Yeah, that should be about the right time. So I'll probably do it in the next coming weeks or so. I was waiting for the sap to start flowing a little bit. It's better for the sap to start flowing when you're grafting for figs. You get a better success rate with grafting. when the sap starts flowing, they're different than apples and things like that. But yeah, this is my Panache. You can see again, it's just waking up. Again, I want to graft the Panache on that tree there. And I've got, okay, so this is my White Madeira #1 a fig tree, which here I cleaned it up. It had multiple branches coming off the base of it. I cleaned it up and just left one main branch with, and I'm going to train this into, basically that's going to be my little tree. Beautiful tasting fig though, and one of my favorite green type of figs, or Adriatic type of figs. Here I've got the Sakura Black. There's two trees actually there. There's one there and another one there next to each other. So this here is my Sakura Black. Again, I've cleaned the base of it. You can see I've hacked some main branches off the base and just kept one main sort of leader. And that's going to be my tree. Same with the Sakura Black, which is here. Left one branch. So it's going to be sort of two branches or two trees next to each other with a canopy on top. That's the way I'm training it. This is my just kitchen parsley, garlic patch here. That's my favorite. I would say if I had to pick one, this would be it. It's my first tree. It has sentimental value for me. First fig tree that I collected, and actually one of my favorites, Adriatic, the white Adriatic fig. Beautiful. I love this thing. I've talked a lot about it before. I love the balance of flavor that it offers, a perfect balance of sweet and slight acidity. It's got the crunch, it's got the size. I love the color contrast of green and red. Yeah, I just love this thing basically. That's all I'm saying. And you can see I've pruned it. That's the way I like to prune it every year. Nice and organized. So basically I prune for accessibility. I like to get to the center of the tree. So you can see now that's the whole tree. It's a pretty big tree. Again, it's close to 10 years old, this thing. One of my first year trees that I planted. It's got maybe a 9-inch main trunk at the base of it. And you can see I can walk. You can see how I've pruned it early in its life. I've cut the main leader about a foot high or even less when I first planted it, and then that sort of encouraged new branching, and then I started working with that over the years and just train it to the way it is. And I'll usually open the center, so as you can see I'm right at the center of the tree now. I'm literally at the center of the tree, and I can reach all around the tree, reach every branch with ease, and pick any fruit that I want without using any ladders or anything like that. And at the same time, that provides a lot of sun, light penetration and air penetration, which helps against fungal diseases and issues and things like that, especially if you don't live in a fig native environment such as the Mediterranean, where these things are from. If you live in a humid, wet environment, which Sydney is to some extent, then you do have to make sure you open it up and you provide a lot of light and air circulation and sun and so on to give it better chances. This is my Fuyu persimmon. Was absolutely loaded last year, mashallah. Again, I've pruned it. I've dropped the height of it. You can see that center branch there that was going up to the sky, got rid of it. And I've kept most of the branches that are sort of going horizontal, and got rid of any vertical branching. And now everything is within my reach. And yeah, with in regards to persimmons, you don't. They're pretty easy to prune because they produce their fruits, their flowers and fruits on new growth actually. So this coming spring now, which literally more or less we're in now, you'll start getting new growth coming off from these branches, and on that new growth, eventually the flowers will form, then that will set fruit. So a very productive tree. This is my Azerbaijani pomegranates. You can see again it's breaking dormancy, it's just waking up. The red new shoots are just forming right now. This is my Bayes cherry moya. Just planted it in sort of at the start of winter. I know you shouldn't, but I took the risk, planted it, and look, I lost a couple of leaves and maybe the tip of it, but the rest is fine. I'll prune it right there, and that's it. Winter's over now, so shouldn't worry about losing it. I bought this from Joel, and I planted it here. Yeah, that's the first time I've never planted a cherry moya, so we'll see how she goes. That's the Lebanese #1 pomegranate, just breaking dormancy. That's the seedless, what is it? What's it? Su Lin San lychee. You can see the new growth right there and there. It's yeah, it's doing fine. This is my angel red pomegranate. You can see it's woken up as well. Erdon Lee lychee, again it's full of new growth. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there it is there. There's new growth coming up, so that's doing fine. My Lebanese #1, I call it, pomegranate, just waking up. My asparagus patch, actually I should have picked these. That's the ideal stage you should pick asparagus, is that stage. So this one here, sort of. A sec, let me try and zoom. Yeah, so that is the ideal. Once they start branching like that, they start getting a little bit tough. They're still edible, but ideally you'd want to pick them at this stage. I've got two varieties there, the red one, or the purple one, and the green one. And they're very productive. Year after year, I get loads of asparagus from these. This time, and again in autumn, I get 2 flushes out of them. Parfianca pomegranates. Arguably the best tasting pomegranate. So far not as productive as wonderful, but it's getting there. I'm getting more and more every year out of it, so we'll see how she goes this year. This is my new patch of silver beet or Swiss chard to replace my old patch. That patch has been there for years, maybe 3-4 years or so, 3 years. It served me well, so I've decided to start a new patch here. Just last autumn, basically, I planted it. Lavender. So this lavender here is for pollination purposes. I tend to throw them around the garden just to bring in pollinators. You can see the bee there doing its thing. And it helps pollinate or bring in pollinators for the towards the trees as well, fruit trees, and it pollinates them. The Suma mandarin, or the Shiranui mandarin, as it's also known by, is also pumping out some new growth and new flowers. It's full of flowers and new growth, as you can see there. So she's doing fine. That's my patch of sweet peas or snap peas, which I've trained, or I've planted them next to this sort of arbor, and they're going to climb and, you know, up and around and on top of that thing. It's going to be like an arch. That's the plan in a way. You can see they're loaded with peas. We like them. I like just snapping them and eating them as I'm walking around, and we do cook some dishes with them as well. Can't go wrong with sugar peas or snap peas. These are actually the sugar peas, the ones that form the actual peas themselves. So they're not really meant for things like stir fry. You can, but you gotta pick them at this stage. But if you let them go, they'll actually form the peas, the sugar peas themselves, which that's the way I prefer them. I just like the snack of them as I'm walking past. Anyway, so this is my newly planted. Never had experience with them before, but I thought I'd try it. Two-way low chill cherries. Where are they? There they are. Mini Royale and Royal Crimson. Yeah, Mini Royale and Royal Crimson. They're supposed to be low chill cherries, suitable for Sydney. I know some people haven't had luck with them, but I want to give it a crack. My area here gets a little bit more chill hours, so I thought I'll give it a crack and see how I go with it. This is my other Parfianca pomegranate. That's the bigger version, or the more advanced tree that is. This is the Navelina orange tree. You can see it's just waking up, and it's full of new growth and flowers all over. One of my favorite actually orange trees. Very nice, very delicious, nice and sweet, good balance of flavor in it. The strawberry patch, that's more for ground cover and to keep the little one busy. She likes to forage in there and just search for strawberries and just munch on them. They're just loaded. You can see they're just loaded with strawberries, and there's flowers everywhere. Very ornamental. They serve a purpose as well. They provide ground cover, suppress weeds, keep the moisture in, and they provide strawberries. So that's a plus plus. As you can see, that's a more advanced one there. But yeah, they're just started now, so they'll keep going all the way through to summer, and then they'll slow down. They'll still produce sort of randomly here and there, but the main flush is this time during spring. Spring, and a bit more towards autumn, but not as much as spring. Spring is the main flush. So yeah, this is the three-way apple. It hasn't woken up yet. It seems to be deep asleep still, but I did prune it and got it ready for spring. And I do have some Saions I want to graft onto it, but I haven't had time to do it. So I've left them in the refrigerator to keep them sort of alive, basically, until maybe next week or so I'll graft it. I believe I've got Granny Smith and also Cox Pippin Orange, I believe it's called, Cox Pippin Orange Scions that I want to graft onto it. But yeah, that will be done soon. Namroy, this is my large Namroy, the more advanced Namroy pomelo. It was an absolute champ this season, this winter, full of pomelos. Everyone's been sort of requesting these little puppies, or big puppies, actually they're huge. We love them, and you can see now it's just started pushing out new growth and new flowers. It's just loaded with flowers, and the whole thing will be just covered with white flowers soon. You can see now all the flower heads are coming up. They haven't opened up yet, but they will soon. Just absolutely loaded with flowers. It's a champ of a tree. We love it. I think there's still some pomelos left on it. You see there's one there. That's a bit small because we ate all the big ones, but I think I spotted a big one somewhere the other day. Can't seem to find it now. Oh, there she is. Yeah, there it is. There's the last of the big pomelos left on it. There it is. Yeah. Well, I haven't got to it yet, but that will be next on the chopping block, maybe tonight or something. And I think that's the last of the big ones, unless I can't see it. But yeah, this is the Karakara orange tree. That's the end of it as well. A lot of it have started to drop on the floor because we literally couldn't keep up with it. We've just given away so many, we ate so much, we've juiced, we've made cakes and desserts and all sorts of things with it. But we just literally couldn't keep up, and now it's starting to push out new growth and new flowers again. As you can see, yeah, you can see it on the ground there. It's full of overripe, yeah, overripe oranges that have just dropped, and now it's getting ready for a new season. I don't know why it's not zooming, but anyway, yeah. But yeah, that's the Caracara. This is my Bourjassotte Noire. Yep, the Bourjassotte Noire fig. Again, I've hacked a lot of the base of the tree, or a lot of main branches off. I had multiple branches coming off the base. I've hacked them all and just kept pretty much two. I've kept this one with a canopy on top, and this one there. And that should give me good access right around the tree, in the center, everywhere, right around there, and provide nice conditions for this tree to succeed and produce quality figs for me, inshallah. That's the plan. But again, extremely high productive. That's probably my favorite black fig. Never fails me. Highly productive, delicious fig. Yeah, more lavender here. That's my new addition, which I planted a few months ago, actually. The little one hanging around. 1 second. Yeah, so this is a peach, basically, which I planted a few months ago. It's a low chill variety, Tropic Queen, I believe it's called. Tropic Queen, it's supposed to be a low chill variety. This is probably my first stone fruit in a long time. I used to have a lot of stone fruit, maybe 15 or more different, stone fruit, plums and peaches and nectarines and apricots and all sorts, but I took them out. They were just too, yeah, it was just too much work at the time, and then they had a lot of issues with insects and things, and just too much to keep up with. So I took them all out, got rid of them, and just kept on sort of planting my figs and citrus and things like that, mangoes and things that are sort of easier to deal with. It wasn't worth it to waste that much space on, for me anyway, on stone fruit. Only to lose them to insects and fruit flies and things and birds and all sorts of things. It was just too much. So I took them out, but I've come back here with, 1 or 2 I can manage, that's fine, but not 15. It's just too much work, it's not worth it. That used to be my chili patch. That's my mandarin, the Australian Imperial Mandarin. I love this mandarin, actually. It's a classic. But it's, yeah, you can see there's a couple of fallen fruits there, but it's pretty much done. And it's just, I think, starting, yeah, you can see that it's starting to push out new growth now. That's one of my new additions in the backyard. What is it again? It's the sweet tart mango. You can see it's got some winter damage. That's from the cold, some winter damage, because I did plant it pretty much the start of winter. I planted this thing. I know you shouldn't, but Sydney has a mild winter, so I knew this thing wouldn't die. I'll get some damage, but it shouldn't die, unless it had an extreme winter, which we really do have very cold extreme winters here in Sydney. So our winters are pretty mild. We rarely even get frost, So the lowest, the average lowest temperature is maybe 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in the middle of the night, in the middle of the coldest part of the winter, which is not enough to kill a tree in my, like a subtropical tree, maybe an extreme tropical tree, maybe, but subtropical trees like mangoes will do absolutely fine in Sydney. So yeah, this is sweet tart. Okay. This is ornamental. one of the new ornamental additions that I've added to the garden in general. This flower is spent. So basically, what is it called again? It's Dombea. Yeah, Dombea. It's a Dombea. So basically, it's a Madagascar. It's native to Madagascar. It's nicknamed the Madagascan. I forgot the nickname of it, but yeah. Anyway, it produces these clusters of flowers like pom-poms, pink in color. Madagascan hydrangea. That's the nickname of it because the actual flowers resembles a hydrangea. They look almost exactly like a hydrangea, but on a tree though. This thing will grow, I think, up to 3 meters high, so it's not extremely large. It's a pretty low tree, very ornamental. Even the leaves are very big. They look like elephant ears. That's winter damage now, so you got to excuse it. And again, I planted it maybe at the start of winter, so looking forward to see how this develops. I've got one here and one in the front yards. I like them, so I planted a couple of them. This is the other olives, the Moroccan olives tree, doing fine again, always evergreen. This is my orange sherbet mango. You can see it's starting to push out new growth now. That's a new addition as well, planted it last season. So it's almost 1 year now, almost 1 year, just short of 1 year old since I planted it in the ground. This is pretty much 1 year exactly to date, and it's doing very, very good actually. This is my Valencia Pride mango. You can see it's pushing out a new growth. Yep, pushing out new growth there. And even its vigor is impressive. It's supposed to be vigorous, and for me it is vigorous. It's literally a year old. When I first planted it, it was about this high, and it's put maybe just over a foot, maybe 40 centimeters in growth, which is pretty impressive. Okay, and this here is my Golden Queen mango. Golden Queen, or Taiwan Gold, is also another name for it. So obviously, as the name suggests, it hails from Taiwan. It's a hybrid, I believe, between a kit mango and something else, and an Asian mango. So it's elongated. It's like an oval sort of elongated form. A very large, extremely large mango. That's one of the reasons why I got it. Very impressive ornamental looking mango, and it's supposed to taste really good as well. So that's one of the new additions as well when it comes to mangoes. Okay, let's quickly get to the front and we'll end this video. Sorry for the length of it, but there's a lot to cover, and I'd rather just do it in one video than do it in two. Just get it over and done with. 1 second. Yes. Okay, so this is the vine section on the fence. So I've got the grapes, 2 varieties of grapes, Autumn Royale, and that red one, I forget the name of it, Crimson Seedless, yes, so Crimson Seedless and Autumn Royale. And I've pruned them, as you can see. I've just recently pruned them. And recently, or at least last season, I planted muscadine grapes, 2 muscadine grapes, to see how they go. And they're very vigorous. You can see already, they've shot up, a fair bit from last season. And also in the corner here is my thornless blackberry bush, which also is extremely vigorous, even more vigorous than the grapes. You can see here, this is, I think, the 2nd season in the ground, and you can see how they've just sort of traveled all over the fence, and they're outperforming the grapes even. My only blueberry bush haven't had luck with blueberries. I know they're acid-loving plants and all that, and they're better in pots, but I'm not a pot person. I don't like pots, me personally. I'd rather just put on the ground. And I haven't really paid too much attention, to be honest, to blueberry. I'll just throw them in the ground and just forget them. And I've killed a couple during the years. This is one of the few that survived. I think this is self-pollinating, but I do want to plant another one beside it just to help the pollination rates. This is my Smith fig, and next to it is the Col de Dame Blanc fig, which I am planning to plant somewhere, but I haven't had time to do it. Rosemary bush, that's for the kitchen. Next to the, I believe is za'atar, which is oregano right there. That's just the ornamental gardenia. More strawberries there as a ground cover. This is the Australian finger lime, the native lime, which is also known as caviar lime. I've got 3 different varieties here. There's 1, 2, and 3 with 3 different colors. Oh, there you go. I haven't noticed this actually. It's full of flowers. They're nice, pretty pink flowers. Oh, it's loaded with flowers actually. There you go. I've just planted them at the end of last season, so I haven't had any limes from them, but looking forward to it. I've got 3 different colors, pink, red, and green. The actual, the caviar inside, or there's the miniature balls inside. That's the color they are. All right, let's move on. Okay, so here I've got some things in pots which I haven't planted yet. I've got another wonderful pomegranate. I want another wonderful one since it's so productive. I haven't planted it in the ground. I've got a Vernon lemon, I believe it's called. Lemon Verna. So yeah, not Vernon, Verna lemon, which is Spanish variety of lemon trees. So I want to, plant that in the ground as well, since I've got the Eureka, which is, all year production, but the main crop is in winter. This is supposed to be also all year production, but its main crop is in summer. So they will sort of complement each other. Give me all year round lemons, since we love our lemons. Okay, and these 2 olive trees I've recently sourced. They're ancient olive trees. They're Lebanese olive trees actually. They call them the Suri olives. Suri not as in Syria, Suri as in Sur in Lebanon, which is Tyre in English. That's the city they come from, Tyre, Sur in Lebanon. They're supposed to be the oldest known cultivar or variety of olives known to man, apparently, from what I've researched, or at least one of the oldest, arguably the oldest cultivar known to man is this particular olive cultivar, the Sur olive tree. So obviously I had to have it. I've been chasing it for a while, but I finally tracked it down and I got 2 of them. But I haven't planted them in the ground yet. I've been meaning to. All right, off to the front yard, and yeah, there's a lot of cleaning in the front yard. Yeah, just bear with me. I haven't had time to clean up and just tidy things up. I probably will soon, but I haven't had time yet. Yeah, so the ornamentals are doing their thing. So I won't really go through it. I'll just do the fruits for you. Surprisingly, that the impatient survived winter. I was surprised, I didn't know they were, and never stopped flowering, huh? Like, they literally did not stop its flower production throughout winter. This thing is just an absolute workhorse. This little flower there, the impatient. That's a new variety, I believe. They call it sun patient. So because it's a sun-loving impatient. Because generally, impatiens don't like the sun. They like to be in a shade or semi-shaded positions. The sun will burn them very easily, and they die usually if you plant them in full sun. This thing here is literally all day sun. I've had it since last season. It survived the extreme heat of summer, direct sun all along, and even the Sydney's winter, right through winter, did not stop flowering. Absolute legend. So I do want to plant more of them. So if you're into ornamentals, go for these Sun Patient. You won't be disappointed. This is my the Washington Navel, the Washington Navel Orange. Again, it's just going crazy with flower production and new growth, just everywhere. And it's just, there's heaps of fruits on the ground. Again, couldn't keep up with it, but I'll just leave them on the ground that they compost and turn into basically nutrition, which the tree will take up again. And I do want to plant, or sorry, graft a few things on it, which I've mentioned before. Haven't had time yet, but I will get to it. Yeah, I've got to clean all that. There's a lot of cleaning to do in the backyard. I'm going to get rid of all these. They just, there's a bit of work to keep up with them, these sort of plants. I like things that sort of, even though I like ornamentals, but you know, I do have a life. I'm not retired, not yet, you know. So I can't dedicate my whole life to sort of, you know, hedging and cutting and pruning and keeping up with all these sort of ornamentals. I want things that are a bit easier to look after and not as vigorous. These are just too vigorous for me, for my liking. Those purple type of, and even that one there, that green one, it's just, you know, every year it just takes over the garden, and I can't be having that. So I'm going to get rid of them and these sort of shrubs as well, or bushes here. Get rid of them, clean it up. So there's a lot of cleaning to do. But anyway, this is my Namdok, my a mango. Yeah, it's been pretty much 1 year in the ground. I planted it about this time last year. I let it fruit and ripen one fruit on it because I'm just impatient and I wanted to taste it off the tree. I've had it from the supermarkets, but I just wanted to taste it off the tree. Did not disappoint. So yeah, it's been 1 year in the ground now, but it's doing absolutely fine. This is my oldest mango here, a Bambaroo, Australian Bambaroo, which is just another, it's a selection of Kensington Pride, grafted selection of Kensington Pride, Australian mango. And it looks like, again, it's pushing out new growth. So I do want to, I haven't had the chance to prune this. I do want to prune it. Anything that's high out of reach, I want to get rid of, and just I want to send a lot of air and sun into the center of the tree. So I will be doing that soon. I love this thing here. I forget the name of it, but I know it's an Australian native. I don't, you know, even though I love ornamentals, I don't concentrate much on the names of them as much as fruits, because fruits are sort of a priority to me. Ornamentals are number two, so, but I do love them. So forgive me if I don't recall the name of these things, the actual ornamentals. But I know this is an Australian native, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. Just the colors of it. It's got striking silver, whitish, year-round growth, or leaves and branches. And this time of the year in spring, it just breaks out into these beautiful looking bell-shaped sort of purple or lavender colored flowers. So the whole thing, it just started flowering now, so the whole thing in a couple of weeks, or in a week or so, will be smothered in those flowers. So it'll turn from silver to sort of lavender. It's absolutely beautiful. I like it. It gives a lot of street appeal. And yeah, but you know, I'll quickly go through the ornamentals because there's a lot of cleaning to do. Yeah, I'll just show you the new additions actually. The ornamentals there, probably more important. So I've planted 3, so it's a 3 in one. I used to have another tree here. The I think there's the Royal Ponciana, or AKA the flame tree, I believe, something like that. Had it for years, 6 years, 5, 6 years. It just, you know, Sydney was too cold for it. You know, it survived those years, but the it wouldn't grow much. So it'll grow during the warm season, then winter hits and most of the new growth will die back. Then come the warm season again it'll grow again, then it'll die back in winter, and it was doing this for years and years. And so I've just gave up on it, and I planted something which I should have done years ago. Why fight nature when you can just go with it? Just makes your life a lot easier. So I planted 3 eucalyptus trees, also known as gum trees here in Australia. And these particular trees here, there's 3 of them, flowering gum trees. So it's a flowering eucalyptus tree. They have the most beautiful looking flowers. They flower all summer long or throughout the warm season. They love our climate. They love our winters. They love our summers, our autumns. They love everything about Australia. So why would you not plant them? So yeah, so I planted. So there's 3 colors here. So I've got pink, orange, and red. So looking forward to them, and they're grafted actually, so they should start flowering off the bat straight away. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the fruit side of things. But I'll just run you through the ornamentals just quickly. I won't say much, but there is a lot of cleaning to do and tidy things up. But again, I haven't had time, but I'll get to it. Don't you worry. Yeah. You can see spring is in the air, or even though it's not tidy and it needs a bit of work, it still looks beautiful. You can't deny it. It is nice. Yeah, so you see all the flowers, different colours and so on. And there's a lot of things I do want to tidy up, but yeah. The camellias, that's a bit late to flower. It must be a late variety. Forgot the name of that one. What is that one? Or maybe it just didn't produce much. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of buds. It's probably a late variety. Okay. Yeah, I like these ground covers. They flower all year round, low maintenance. They stay nice and neat, nice and low. They're drought tolerant and so on. So they're staying. I highly recommend if into ornamental sort of ground covers. That's the other Dombeya. That's the other Madagascan flowering tree that I was telling you about. I planted in the front, so that should be interesting. I do want to plant a avocado. For some reason, I haven't planted avocado when I should have planted one years ago. Since we love avocados, and Sydney is excellent for growing avocado as well. But yeah, I might plant it here somewhere. I don't know, maybe there somewhere. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Sorry it dragged on a bit, but there's a lot to cover, and I do want to just fit it in one video rather than 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, then be a guest and hit that subscribe button. And see you next time, inshallah.